Hey, what's going on TikTok? Have you ever felt like you were not good enough for God? And that is how I felt. I felt that with the death of my mother because the one thing that I had to make sense with was the way that I made her death make sense to me in light of Christianity. I took upon that scripture that says in the book of Job that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And so I said to myself, I'm thankful for the parents that I had, my mother and my father. And the one thing that doesn't make sense to me is that the way that she passed, how she passed. Because, when we found out, it was one of those type of things, it was a sudden death. It was one of those type of deaths. My mother was coming back from a choir convention with our church. And the van got into an accident, and out of everybody that was in the van, my mother was the only one that passed. And so just trying to make sense of all of that, because when you hear certain Christian people talk, even in our church and during the time of us grieving, she was the most prepared. Who is ever prepared to leave suddenly? Not being able to see her kids get married, not being able to see her grandkids, not being able to participate in the success, the changing of the times, not seeing her kids grow or grandkids, make it make sense. But even in all of that, I was like, wow, man, wasn't I not good enough? Wasn't my mom not good enough? And right now, dealing with sickness in my family, it's not like I don't know the word. But a lot of times we look for our faith, our perseverance, and endurance to be rewarded. And then we find out like nothing is happening. Things ain't turning around. It's still the same. And then we blame the devil. But then you ask yourself, like, why am I praying and I'm not seeing nothing? And so this makes you believe and think that, am I not good enough to God to get a healing? Am I not good enough to God to see things turn in my family? Because I'm trusting God. I'm believing in God. I'm doing what he told me to do. And at the time, I'm like, don't make sense. It didn't make sense when my pastor died. And now there's not even a memorial or remembrance of him. And he was the most blessed and righteous man that I knew as a pastor. So that's why I say, man, am I not good enough for God?